Namaskar, this is lecture number 22 and it will be a little repetitive. The reason being we have to understand the notion of ethnicity and ethnic conflicts in order to understand ethnic cleansing, which is may or may not be related to genocide, but it's one component of genocide. Let's go over it very quickly, and after this lecture, I'm going to just talk about the notion of intent and summarize everything we said about genocide, and then the application. We're going to start with both the Kashmiri Hindus and the Bengali Hindus, everything that's now going on in Bangladesh and why we should call it both ethnic cleansing and also genocide, and then we'll connect the two. In the meantime, please subscribe to this channel and please like the video so that we can continue going on doing video from Swaka Harshita, which also has a website. You can go to the website swakah.in and you can look at all the blogs that I have put up there. All right. So in order to understand ethnic conflicts, we have to understand the notion of ethnicity. And the notion, there is no consensus on what ethnicity is. There are three views that we are going to discuss. Each of them, they have problems. The first is the biological naturalistic view, that naturally there are people who for generations have used a common language, common culture, common cuisine and so forth. And so it's kind of like has become biological. It's not something to do with modernity, but it's so far in the past. And there's a kinship, blood relation. And then it got spread over a larger group of people. And this, of course, cannot be changed. So this is what is called the naturalistic primordial or biological theory of ethnicity. The problem with this is it cannot explain how ethnic groups which were in conflict with each other, for example, the English and the French have synthesized, have become friends, allies. Next is the constructivist, that ethnic groups, ethnicity is an identity that is constructed over time. An Indian moves to Singapore, they take citizenship, so is a Singaporean Indian, or they move to UK and they become British Indian, so forth. So it's constructed over time, it's historical and fluid. There is no essentialism here. Again, this cannot explain some of the ongoing continuous ethnic conflicts with very essentialistic us and them, out groups, in groups. And the third thing is more instrumental, that people adopt ethnicity in order to get some advantage. So all these are different views, each has its merits and demerits. Now, when it comes to ethnic cleansing, we have to take all these views, but the most important thing about ethnic cleansing is othering of a group. Whether they consider the group as essentially biologically based, which mostly they do, or historical constructed, it doesn't matter. It's always the othering, and mostly genocides have, ethnic cleansing, have happened via colonization and occupation. And I'm going to give a lot of examples when we are going to apply this. What is this othering? I'm going to read something. When a distinction is made between the groups in terms of in-group and out-group othering occurs, when the group is classified as the other, when a state does that, nobody can save the other within the victim group. Talking about Jews and Armenians, Alison Palmer said that these groups were significantly integrated into their community. Then came a point when they're classified as others, and then again they were ethnically cleansed or genocide happened and so forth. It's very interesting that the two may or may not be related, but they could be related, indirectly related. One more thing, couple of more things that I want to add to this is that first about the othering, which is related to ethnic cleansing. It's about dehumanization. The other is dehumanized and devalued, And then Rhiannon S. Nelson has suggested toxification as a more precise early warning for genocide. First, someone's devalued, then it can lead to ethnic cleansing and also genocide. And when Ernst Erwin Staub talks about devaluation, he says it is a human tendency that serves as a basis in doing harm. This devaluation makes people view the outgroup as a bunch of objects that can be acted upon almost with no risk of retaliation. Why this is important for us is this is exactly what happened to the Kashmiri Pandits, Hindus, because they couldn't retaliate. They're a small group, the overwhelming the population who are the majority, and also they were not able to retaliate. The other thing is, the same thing happened with Bangladeshi Hindus, although they're resisting now. Instead of fleeing, they're resisting. They're saying, and if you look at the slogans, they're saying that this is our Amar Mati, Amar Desh, Bangladesh, Bangladesh, which means that this is my land and this is my country, so I'll stay here. Rhiannon S. Nelson suggested toxification as an early warning of genocide. Toxification is an extreme way of dehumanization. She says that toxification is a cognitive perception of the target group as fundamentally lethal to the survival of the perpetrator. This is very important. I'll go over this again, and when we do the Noakhali Bengali Hindu genocide, that is before the partition of India, 1946, again before the independence of India from the British rule, this toxification there happened as a result of a lecture given by Peer Ghulam Sarawar. And with that, we'll also analyze, because these are examples that we are going to give, analyze the macro, the meso, and the micro level of genocide building. And then we'll connect it with ethnic cleansing that was going on happening. So all these are our framework. And then we are going to connect the whole thing, why both ethnic cleansing and genocide. And in our case, we're going to talk about Hindu genocide because that's the least spoken about genocides, and the refugee, the ethnic cleansing, the refugee movement that happened in the world in modern times. So this is just a preliminary lecture to enter into that application. There's probably one more lecture I'm going to give on the intent of genocide. And then we are going to go and weave all these two together, feminist theory, genocide, ethnic cleansing, and then apply it to the Kashmiri Hindus, and especially with the Bengali Hindus starting from 1946. It's probably happened before then. We know that there were genocides of Hindus before that, but we are going to start from 1946. So that is all for today's lecture. It was a short lecture giving the structure, and then now the application process begins. Again, please don't forget to subscribe to this channel, to like the video, and also if you can donate to our organization, Swakahashita, that would be very good. We do provide therapy. We talk about a lot about these ethnic cleansings. And then, of course, genocide. We're trying to build this narrative. Thank you. Namaskar.